Thank you for inviting me to the Future of Places Summit in Vancouver. It's a pleasure to contribute to your conversation because, of course, we are in front of one of the most interesting challenge in the modern era. We have seen that from the beginning of the 21st century, urbanization has jumped the threshold of 50% of urbanization, and by now in 2016 we are already at something like 55, 56. That means that the process continues, and the predictions that around 2050 we can have something like between 65 or 70% of the world population urbanized. It seems that it's a right prediction. That, of course, it's a big opportunity, and also it represents a lot of difficult challenges. It's an opportunity because we know that related to urbanization, we have the chance of accelerating prosperity, accelerating well-being, accelerating, hopefully, equality and welfare. Accelerating the provision and access to cultural goods, etc. There are many positive outcomes of urbanization, as we all know. But also the fact that urbanization is going so rapid, especially in developing countries where the institutional capacity to address the issues of urbanization is low, it can create a very disturbing pattern of concentration, immense concentration of new urban poverty, the risk of social conflict related to this poverty in the cities. In that sense, there's a huge responsibility here. That member states states around the world that are pushing for rapid development and that are wanting the best for their people, they need to take care also, especially of the planning of urbanization. And in that planning of the urbanization, the provision of public goods, the public space in special, because in these initial phases of development, public space is not perceived as a very important or relevant aspect of urbanization. It seems that there are more pressing needs, in terms of urbanization. But the problem of urbanization is that if you don't place the public space at the beginning, then to acquire the public space later on, it becomes very expensive. But not only very expensive, in many occasions it becomes a very high political conflict, and it becomes, in many cities, impossible. The new urban agenda associated to Habitat 3, I think it's a big opportunity to enhance the debate about this issue. Of course, urbanization is a national policy, something that is done by every member state, and the United Nations only provides guidelines. There's a consensus that urbanization is not regulated by international treaties or of forced enforcement. On the contrary, is a voluntary or a strictly national policy under the principles of subsidiarity. Then I think that our role is more in the side of advocacy, and that allows us to be very bold and to explain with clarity what are the risks of not having enough public space, not caring for the common goods of the city, in terms of delaying in a very big manner the capacity of urbanization to be a positive force for the society. I think that this is one of the main messages that we need seriously to transmit to the developing countries, in the sense that here there's a huge opportunity, but also if it's not addressed, immediately it becomes an immense risk and an immense drawback in the capacity of the nation or the country to develop adequately. There's no point of comparison in the effort needed to do, let's say, a little bit good urbanization. It has a cost, but it's a cost which is affordable, compared with the huge problems of not caring for this aspect. I think that this balance of cost-benefit between planned urbanization, structured urbanization, designed urbanization, and informal or spontaneous urbanization should clearly be explained in order to help the decision makers in many of these developing countries to take the adequate decisions in order to improve the urbanization. In the developed countries, it's not that we don't have problems. Again, we have problems also in the developed countries, and they are quite important. We are facing the issue of climate change, the emission of greenhouse gases, which are still growing at a pace that we need to not just stop, we need to decrease substantively in the forthcoming years, and that means that we need to change our model of urbanization in the developed world. And in that we need to do a mixed-use city, we need to do a walkable city, and at the end we are going to reclaim again more accessible public space nearby the places of everybody. Again here, another pending revolution that is needed also in the developed countries. I hope that in this meeting in Vancouver you will have the opportunity to deepen in the conversation. We have published recently data about the evolution of urbanization in the last 20 years, and we have seen that the planned urbanization is diminishing, public space is diminishing. That means that we are not in a good track. We are just in a wrong track that we need to stop initially and then to revert. It's an immense responsibility for us. It's also an opportunity to unite together in this immense effort for a better urbanization for everybody. Good luck and good work. Thank you.